So I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this is what I think is happening with Trump and the tariffs. Scott Bessent is the Treasury Secretary. Mm-hmm. He just gave $40 billion to Argentina, another dictatorship there. Basically, they stole that money. Okay. My guess is that the reason why Trump likes tariffs so much is because they are, my take is that they are scheming billions of dollars for themselves. They are stealing money. That's my take. Because they know the tariffs are no good. Even Scott Bessent defends tariffs, and they know they're not working and they don't work. And so, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm happy to share my thoughts on tariffs. I will give my thoughts on tariffs with my perhaps typical penchant for bold and decisive nuance. You ready for some bold and decisive nuance? Here's what I think. I am not knee-jerk opposed to any kind of tariff. I think that that there is a case to be made, a pretty strong case, that if we want to have environmental and labor standards in our country, if we want to have a certain level of quality in our way of life and quality in the products that we have, and if other countries are charging tariffs for us to sell to them, there's a pretty good case for tariffs. I'm going to get to your question. So that, and we haven't, and the reason I appreciate you bringing it up, because since I've been on this past week, or last week and this week, I haven't really talked about it at all, and I wanted to give that baseline. Now, squarely to your question, so you don't get too antsy. I have no evidence that Trump is skimming money off. If somebody has some, share it. I'm happy to look at it. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions on that. What I do think is pretty obvious from watching the guy for the last 10 years or the last 30 years is that he likes power and he likes money. And tariffs give him both. It allows him to have leverage over international players and allows him to do stuff. One of the challenges presidents have had for a while is that it's hard to pass big bills through Congress. So if you want to make a splash, if you want to do stuff, if you want any walking around money, if you want to get any headlines, then you need to do something other than pass the ACA through Congress, because that was really hard, and Lieberman kept you from getting a public option anyway. And you had Pelosi and Schumer and majorities in both houses, and the big wind at your back on a historic election that Obama won. It is challenging to get things through Congress. So it's clear to me that Trump likes to reward friends and punish enemies. It allows him to reward friends. And do I think, what are the odds that there isn't some adjacent corruption? Pretty low odds there is not adjacent corruption. By that I mean pretty high odds there is adjacent corruption. That tariff deals are linked in part to some conversations we're not seeing, to some deals that are happening that we're not seeing, and that feels pretty likely. And if that's what you mean by skimming off the top, then do I think there is a financial angle in just about everything Trump does that benefit him, his Confederates, his family? Probably. But I don't know if it's exactly skimming. But Alfredo, you got 10 seconds if you want to reply.
Yeah, it's well said. Knowing what a grifter and a conman Trump is, I'm very suspect that the reason why he's doing this is to skim billions of dollars from the Treasury and the government. But well said, Jefferson. Thanks.
Thanks, Alfredo. And by the way, some enemies of ours like tariffs too.